Yeah, people, we're back at it again. It's data types in JavaScript. So what is data type? Data type is a type of any kind of data that can be stored in a variable. In the previous video, we talked about how we can store data in a variable, how we declared variables, how we mutate the values and use them in our projects. So there are different kind of data that we can store in a variable. But in JavaScript, we have few of them, and these are the most important ones that we are going to cover today. We have the string type, data type. We also have the number, the boolean, null, and undefined. So we'll start off with the string data type. So what is a string? A string is a character or collection of character that is stored in a variable. And the distinguishing feature of it is that it must be in a quote, either a single quote or a double quote. For instance, let me declare a variable name and set it to my name. So this is a string because it's in a quote. So we can console log this. And you see my name on the console. So we can also add anything to it. We can mix it with numbers and it still works. So this is a string. But if we remove the quote, like let's remove the quote and we save, this gives us an error because the program does not recognize what type of data this is. This is not a number and it's not a string because it is not in a quote. So at all point in time, a string must be in a quote. If it's not in a quote, it won't be recognized as string. So we can save back and we have Daniel. Let's remove the numbers. So this works very well. And we can also use the type of operator to tell what type of data we are storing in a variable. For example, type of name. And it says string. So this tells us that we are storing a string variable, a string in this variable name. So let's move to the second one, which is a numerical data type. So as the name implies, numbers is numbers. It can be a whole number or decimal number. And that's one beautiful thing about JavaScript. You don't have to specify what type of number. It can be a whole one or a decimal and it's all numbers. So we can store something like age. Let age be equal to like 20. So this is an example of number data type. So when we console log this, we can console log this. And it gives us 20. So we check the type of data in the variable age. This is a number. So this is also a number data type in JavaScript. The next data type is Boolean. A Boolean is a statement that returns true or false. So this is just true or false statement. So let's say let is student equals false. And we can console log this. And it's false. And we'll also check the type of his student. The next data type we're going to talk about is null. Null, you can think of null as nothing. It's not even zero and it's not an empty string because zero will obviously be a number and an empty string is a string. So this is kind of like void. There's nothing in it. I don't know if you get that, but we'll do some example. We'll take some examples. Let's say let my num equals null. And let's try to console log this. And it gives us null. But when we console log the type of my num, we'll see it gives us object, but it's not really an object. It's just null. It's just the data type null, and it's different from object. So now let's do something different. We'll console log We want to perform some arithmetic operations with this. So we'll say minus, let's say times 2, and it gives us 0. So it's just like 0 that we don't write. So let's do another operation with it, and let's change this one to addition, like plus 2, and you see it's acting like a 0. So we add 0 to 2, it gives us 2. We add this in, we multiply 0 by 2 and it gives us 0. So it's just like a 0 that we don't write. So that's, let's say null is in data type. And let's go to the last one, which is undefined. An undefined variable is a variable that is defined but is not assigned to anything. Unlike null, where we have nothing, 0, like a 0, this one is just like a variable. The variable will be declared but not assigned to anything. Let's say an example. Let's say let's email be equal to nothing. We don't assign anything to it. So let's console log this. Email, and it gives us undefined. So this one is undefined and this is null. And the difference is that this one we don't assign with the undefined, we don't assign, we've declared the variable but we don't assign it to anything. We don't assign any value to it. But then the null, we assign it to just the null. The null, it could be, I say null object, something like that. But it's just like 0 that we don't write. So folks, these are the 5 most important data types that you need to know as a beginner. We also have some other important data types like arrays. We'll have objects, but those are kind of a little bit advanced or big concepts that need separate videos to explain them. So I'll be making videos on those ones in future. Future videos will be covering them. So that's basically how we've come to the conclusion of this one, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget.